You've done the hard work. You got the customer to your site, they browsed, they clicked, but at the very last second, poof, they vanish. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving right into a massive bottom line issue for e-commerce, and that's lost revenue right at the checkout line. More importantly, we're going to look at exactly how to fix it using data-driven visual triggers.
It's a deeply frustrating reality for anyone in digital retail, right? Strong purchase intent absolutely does not automatically equal a completed sale. Customers reach the finish line, they have their wallet practically out, yet they experience bottom of the funnel hesitation. Maybe they pause to go check out a competitor's pricing, or honestly, maybe they just get distracted by a text message or a TikTok notification and decide, I'll just check out later. Well, that delay is the absolute enemy of conversion, and it creates a massive abandoned cart graveyard. So here is our roadmap to solve this. We're going to cover the final purchase hurdle, the psychology of urgency, the anatomy of a banner, strategic campaign placement, and finally measuring campaign success. Let's start with section 1, the final purchase hurdle, and how we overcome that hesitation. Bottom of the funnel, or BOFU, optimization is incredibly specific. It focuses entirely on customers who have already moved through all your awareness and consideration phases. These shoppers do not need more product education. They already know what the item is, and they know they want it. What they actually need is final reinforcement to complete a purchase decision they've essentially already made. It's about providing that one last little push rather than introducing new information. You are quite literally just closing the deal.
To do that, we need to force a mental shift in the consumer's mind. We have to yank them out of evaluation mode, where they are endlessly comparing alternatives and delaying checkout, and push them straight into action mode, where a super clear deadline compels them to complete the transaction immediately. That brings us to section 2, the psychology of urgency and why deadlines actually drive action.
This entire conversion mechanism relies on tapping into 3 core psychological triggers that shape the buyer's internal monologue. First, time limitation awareness, the feeling that the clock is ticking. Second, loss avoidance recognition, which is that little voice saying, if I wait, I'm going to lose this deal. And third, immediate reward visibility. If I act right now, I get the perk. These 3 triggers work together beautifully to actively shut down those extended evaluation cycles. But here's the crucial point. Effective urgency is not about applying random pressure or just slapping a generic panic-inducing buy now button on the screen. It is all about structured time segmentation. It's about establishing a calculated, measurable boundary around the decision. Think a 15-minute flash opportunity or a strict 24-hour promotional window. That specificity is exactly what makes it work so well. All right, section 3, the anatomy of a banner, and actually building this conversion tool. A highly effective, time-sensitive banner coordinates a few key components flawlessly. You absolutely need visual countdown timers continuously updating in minutes or hours so the urgency feels real and active. You also need structured offer framing, explicitly stating if the reward is a percentage discount, maybe a shipping upgrade, or a bundle. And you need expiration indicators that highlight clear finality. The customer has to know exactly what they get and precisely when the opportunity vanishes into thin air. In practice, ambiguity is your absolute worst enemy. Abstract offers lead directly to extended consideration cycles. The customer just thinks, I can always come back and get this later. But clarity, generated by visible countdowns and really structured urgency signals, completely removes that ambiguity by establishing a definitive endpoint for taking action. Moving on to section 4, strategic campaign placement and mapping out the high-intent journey. Think of this as a strategic netcast across your digital retail environment. Step 1, you introduce the benefit on the product page. Step 2, you reinforce it in the cart interface. Step 3, you apply maximum urgency at the checkout page. And step 4, you use an exit intent overlay as your final safety net to catch anyone slipping away. You are matching the urgency to the exact moment the customer experiences friction. While the cart interfaces and product pages are undeniably important, the checkout page is the ultimate threshold. When a user has already committed to the purchase process and reaches this stage, final urgency signals placed right here directly reduce abandonment rates. This is where you immediately save your revenue. But what if they still try to leave? Well, that's exactly where exit intent overlays come in. These trigger the precise moment a user attempts to break the checkout flow, reactivating urgency by reintroducing a time-limited incentive to recover a lost transaction. It is your absolute final ultimate chance to convert consideration into completion.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, measuring campaign success and looking at the data-driven outcomes. Where you place these campaigns literally dictates your performance. Put them in the cart interface, and you reduce cart abandonment because hesitant customers are given a solid reason to continue. Move them to the checkout page, and you increase checkout completion. Add strict time constraints, and you improve your overall conversion velocity.
Actually, let's talk about that for a second because the concept of conversion velocity is a real game changer. It means the actual time to purchase drastically shortens. Instead of a browser tab sitting open for 3 days while the customer hums and haws about buying, they move from consideration to transaction significantly faster. And that's all because that urgency window is highly defined.
When you aggregate all of these improvements, the completed checkouts, the saved carts, the accelerated velocity, across multiple touchpoints, especially during high-traffic retail periods, the ultimate result is massive. You get a stabilized, significantly higher transaction volume. You are systematically closing the leaks at the very bottom of your sales funnel. If you remember just one thing from this explainer, make it this. These campaigns are not about aggressively stressing the buyer out. They are about providing structured decision reinforcement for a hesitant shopper who has essentially already made up their mind. It's about supportive reinforcement at the exact right time. So, as we wrap things up today, I want you to look at your own digital retail environment and ask yourself a critical question. When your highest intent shoppers reach the final stages of checkout, are you giving them structured decision reinforcement, or are you just leaving them alone with their own decision friction? The answer to that question might literally be the key to unlocking your missing revenue.